The second issue on related to science and technology that we're going to talk about is blood transfusion. And what is blood transfusion? Everyone knows about blood transfusion. It is a process of injecting blood into the bloodstream of a patient. That is, you inject blood to a patient. And remember, this blood is injected through the what? The veins. Reasons for blood transfusion. Why do people receive blood? Yes. Number one is to restore blood lost during fatal accidents. If you have a fatal accident, or if there is war, or even during childbirth, you lose a lot of blood. In order to restore that blood lost, you have to undergo a blood transfusion. To restore blood loss. So during fatal accidents, or even during war, or childbirth. So also, it is given to the terminally ill. Number two, it is given to the terminally ill. The terminally sicknesses that you're talking about here is single cell anemia or even cancer. Also, it is another reason, it is to maintain blood levels. To maintain the required blood levels, especially if someone is undergoing what? Major operation. So in order to maintain the blood levels, you have to undergo a blood transfusion. And number four, to correct the low hemoglobin. If a patient has a low hemoglobin, they have to undergo blood transfusion. And all you have to know is before you undergo blood transfusion, the blood has to be screened for any diseases. And also, as you were told in biology, the blood group has to be what? Determined. So that the transfusion you're undergoing is according to your blood group. And the equipment that are used should be sterilized. So Christian view on blood transfusion. Some Christians believe it is wrong. And when they believe it is wrong, it's because you cannot take the blood of a healthy person who's living and you put their life in jeopardy to give to a person who's what? Who's sick. Instead of preserving the life of this healthy person. Number two, those Christians who believe it is wrong, they say that blood is life and life cannot be taken from one person to another. So they believe that blood is life and life cannot be taken from one person to another. Another view on blood transfusion is that you can transmit dangerous diseases. It can transmit dangerous diseases. If the blood is not well screened, you can easily transmit diseases to the what? To the sick person, and now you make them what? You are not even helping them. And these dangerous diseases that can be transmitted via blood transfusion is, for example, HIV, AIDS, and what? Hepatitis B. Number four, alternative methods are suggested instead of blood transfusion. There are those alternative methods that can boost the blood supply that are suggested instead of blood transfusion. So alternative methods are suggested instead of the blood transfusion. And here is whereby you can give, there are those medications you can give to increase the what? The hemoglobin. Or there are those foods you can eat to increase your what? Your blood levels. Or how the blood is being made in the what? In the body. It is also acceptable in order to save life. It is acceptable in order to save life. Also, God values life and it should be preserved. That is number 6. God values life and it should be preserved. So also Christians support blood transfusion because God is the one who gave human beings the intelligence to conquer death through blood transfusion. So he gave them the capability to be able to use blood transfusion to conquer death. From there we go to the third issue on science and technology, and that is organ transplant. Organ transplant is the removal of a defective organ and you replace it. So you remove a defective organ and you replace it with a healthy one. And organ transplant can be done on kidneys. You can transplant kidneys, the heart, the eyes. Christian teaching on organ transplant, it should be done to save life. Because if you're undergoing kidney transplant, it's because to save your life. Also, some Christians say that it is wrong to transfer human life. It is wrong to transfer human life. Those Christians who are against organ transplant, they say that it is wrong to transplant from animals. You see how people get an organ transplant, like for example the eyes, from the what? The sheep, and then they are given to a human being. It is wrong because it undermines human dignity. So it is wrong to transplant from animals. Also, Christians are against it because life is sacred and only God has power over it. Number 5, it can lead to transfer of disease. So that's why some Christians are against it, because when you're trying to undergo this organ, you can transfer diseases. And you can even cause death. So some Christians are against it. Number 6, it is morally right to save life. Also, those Christians who support organ transplant, they say that it is continuing with God's creation work, as He commanded Christians. So it is continuing with God's creation. And also those Christians who support it say that God also did an organ transplant in the creation story. Yes? He did an organ transplant. What did he do? He removed the what? The ribs. Yes. And at number 9, it is an expression of love and concern to a dying person. You are trying to express love or expression of love and concern.